We're looking at the standings right now, and Ford has turned their year around. They had gone a long time with only winning a couple of races, and now they have won back-to-back races with the 17 car and Chris Buescher at the helm. Here's how the Fords stack up in the points, guys. Kevin Harvick, believe it or not, is actually the highest in points of any of the Ford drivers. He is 5th. Brad Keselowski is 8th. Ryan Blaney is 10th. He's not done much. Team won the 600. Chris Buescher with back-to-back wins is 11th, and 12th is Joey Logano. And Jeff Hammond, I'll start with you. With what they have done lately, both cars solidly in the top 10 for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. And this most recent race at Michigan, 1st and 4th. Have they passed all the other Ford teams, and are they the number one Blue Oval organization right now?
Well, you'd have to say yes because of what they're doing as of late. I mean, they have been consistent. They're putting points up on the board. They're stage points, wins, the whole 9 yards. And I think what's interesting when you compare take Kevin off the deal, he's got no support from his teammates, but you take a look at Team Penske, and I'm comparing, Logano along with Blaney against Keselowski and Buescher. And honestly, Doug, the two RFK cars have scored more points collectively than the other two Penske cars.
Looking at Penske, they have 2 wins. Joey Logano has a single win. Ryan Blaney has a win. He won the 600. Austin Cindric, 0 wins. Stewart-Haas Racing, Alexis, no wins out of 4 cars. And for RFK Racing, they've got 2 wins now. Admittedly, they're back-to-back with Chris Buescher, but where it counts in wins, they're tied with Team Penske.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Jeff in that in this business, it's kind of got to be, what have you done for me lately? And when you think about that, you think about the fact that RFK has won the last 2 weeks back to back, with also Brad Keselowski having very good finishes. So, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it in my mind that they are currently sitting on top of Mount Ford, or whatever you want to call it, when you look at the 4 teams. Now, I think Penske maybe isn't like leaps and bounds behind them, certainly, but I think you have to place RFK ahead of them right now.
But I think even if you're just talking that RFK is in the same neighborhood,
right,
that's a big win for RFK.
It's a huge deal.
Jeff, you spent some of your career working for the Cat in the Hat. What does this mean to you to see Brad Keselowski come in there and in a year and a half turn a more-bound franchise around?
I am so excited for what he's been able to accomplish and bring in, some new life and energy into that organization, because I've got the utmost respect for Jack Roush. And again, he gave me an opportunity, always shot straight with me, and I put him in the same category as one of the best memories, and that was with Junior Johnson and Junior Johnson and Associates. So, yes, I am excited for the fact that, that organization has a future, because of the leadership that Brad has brought to the table.
Think about how gratifying it has to be for Brad Keselowski. And I know you mentioned this earlier, Doug, that he maybe has a little bit of, jealousy maybe isn't the right word, but the fact that he wants to be the car that rolls into victory lane. But when you think about it purely from an ownership standpoint, think of how many people, when he said, "Hey, I'm leaving the captain, I'm leaving Roger Penske, and I'm going to Roush," we're like, what's he doing exactly? Yeah. Is this a good move? Is this going to be something that, he can look back on later on and say, this was a pivotal point in my career? And I think the way things are going, the answer's got to be yes.
Jeff, I vividly remember when this was announced, and I was thinking, okay, he's moved all the chips to the middle of the table. He left a very good race team. He left a place that he could be secure, probably retire from, on a really risky move to do this on his own.
Yes, but at the same time, Brad has always been one, I think, who wanted to be in control of his future and help control the future of our sport. I mean, he grew up around racing. He knew what it was going to take. His family raced. It's not something that, you take lightly, but I think that, he realized that even though how much he respected Roger, he loved being there, that it was not going to be his. And I think that's something that he really wanted. He wanted ownership. He has had a manufacturer organization, recently. So I think it's all about the future and his family. And I think he's, charted his own course, and he took a big leap of faith. But here's the big thing. We haven't even touched on this. Guess who wound up winning the manufacturer trophy today?
Ford.
Yeah. And that helps him a whole lot with the folks right down the road in Dearborn. I can promise you.
By the way, that's 9 wins in a row for the Blue Oval at Michigan International Speedway. That's a pretty spectacular number if you look at it. Now, they had to outduel a Toyota today, Martin Truex Jr., but they got it done.